Welcome, fellow marketer. What do we need to know to select the best influencer to represent our brand? Today, I'm going to walk you through 7 things that you and I need to know to find the best influencers to represent our brand. So I'm speaking from experience here. This is Brett Owens. I've started a few companies of my own and used partners. Back in the day, they were known as affiliates. Today, it's moved more to influencers and creators. So we're going to talk about 7 things that are very important today, 7 characteristics that I use to select the perfect influencer to represent our own brand, something that I want to relay to you. Now, these are 7 steps that are applicable to any brand, no matter what type of product you have, and we'll actually start there. My number 1 thing you need to know is specificity. Now, traditional influencer marketing, we think of the Kardashians, Oprah even back in the day, right? So you cast a very wide net. You and I as marketers, we got to shell out the money in order to get these people's attention, to get them to give us a shout out. We're talking like $1 million a post. Now this is kind of like running a Super Bowl ad. We're casting a very wide net. This is not what we want to do as we head into 2023 here. What we're looking for is specifics. So if we've got, we know the type of end customer that we're looking for, and now what we're going to do is find the type of influencer that reaches that end customer, right? If we're using a platform such as Afluencer to select our influencers, we've got these split up into interests. And in a platform, again, like Afluencer, we do have over 50 different interests that we can select from. So if we've got a product in the recreation category, let's say we've got a baby product, let's say we've got a technology product, health, wellness, travel, beauty, you name it. Those influencers are already sort of subdivided by their interests as they've raised their hand and they've said, hey, this is what I'm about. So we're looking for as specific a match as we can get on that front. What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna pick an interest. We're gonna roll with health, knowing that we do have over 50 different interests that we can potentially tap into. Now, what if your product is so niche, so niche, whatever we want to call it, that we may not have a predetermined category for it or have scale in that category? Well, in that case, we're probably heading over to Instagram and we're kind of typing in the hashtags here, browsing through. So if we can avoid having to do this type of manual work, we would love to be able to avoid that and kind of automate that with, again, like an influencer type platform that has our influencers already categorized. Now, as I apply my filter to health, our 15,000 influencers, we're down to 1,000. So we've got progress here, right? We went from a shot in the dark to we've got to focus on our specific interest. Now, what's next? Let's talk about the size of the following of the influencer that we are engaging with. Again, I find most of my value these days, and this is kind of the undercover secret in the influencer marketing industry, is that micro-influencers are where the party is at. So we don't necessarily need to find somebody with 1 million plus followers. We may not even need to find someone with 100,000 plus followers. We can do great with someone with 5 or 10,000 or 20,000 followers or more. Why? Well, they're going to have a closer connection typically with their audience, and again, their content is going to be very focused. So again, this dovetails with our number 1 of specificity. So number 2 is our size. That's how we're going to also really make sure that we're targeting the type of potential customers that we want, and that's where we are dialing in the type of influencer that we are looking for. Now, let's say we've got our influencer, and let me go ahead and apply one more filter here. So I'm going to say, as I mentioned, let's say 10,000 or more followers on Instagram. I am going to apply that. And let's see what we come back with. So now we're down to 140 potential partners. See, again, you can see as we whittle this down, we are literally taking the universe and finding our ideal partner. Now, my number 3 thing that we need to know here is going to be our engagement rate. I get asked, and I think people are getting hip to the stat that is called engagement rate. That's going to be the number of likes and the number of comments that an influencer is getting on a given post. So let's go over to Angela here, Grass-Fed Mama, and we will see her Instagram, and we can see the number of likes and comments that Angela is getting on a post. So if we kind of hover over, we will see where she's coming in. So 18 likes on this post. So 18 likes divided by the number of followers that she has is going to be her engagement rate. So what I'm going to do here is apply an engagement rate filter, and I'm going to say that Industry average is roughly 2%, so I'm going to say that we want 2% or more from our engagement rate, so that's what we're looking for. So what does that do to our universe of influencers? Now we have 61 ideal influencers. Now, number 4 thing we need to know is price. What are we going to offer an influencer? Now, let me show you how we kind of dovetail this with the engagement rate statistics. So let's check out Ariel's profile here, and let's dial in on her engagement rate. So Ariel, she's in our focus. She's got 10,000 or more followers, and we can also see her engagement rate is really good. So the average engagement rate for Ariel's number of followers is 3.5%. So the engagement rate tends to kind of go down as the number of followers goes up, and that's kind of a law of large numbers thing, where when it's your mom, your grandma, and your dog following you, they're gonna like and comment on everything. As we get exposure to the broader world, that number naturally goes down, but we like to see it stay high. So Ariel's doing a great job with her content, and you can see this from her post. If we go over here, you can see 335 likes on this post, which is excellent for having 10,000 followers. We can also click the graph here, and it'll also show the engagement rate on each specific post, so we can see what Ariel is doing well, and we can also check out her content and see if that's a good fit for us. So what are we going to offer Ariel? Well, actually, the cool thing is that what I'm going to do and suggest doing is we would kind of post what we call a campaign, or in industry parlance called a collab. A collab is going to be an opportunity for that influencer, and we're saying, hey, we are paying $100 a post, or we're paying between $50 and $200 a post, and we'll go ahead and we'll invite Ariel to it. So I've got some collabs that I have set up, and I kind of also split them into tiers. So I've got something for nano and micro influencers that I'll invite Ariel to, and I've got a price range in here. So back of the envelope, I would expect that if we can partner with Ariel for about $50 to $100 for a post or a reel, which is going to be a video, that would be a good deal on our side. We could probably go a little higher given her sky high engagement rate. So I'll go ahead and I'll invite her to the collab, and then Ariel's going to see what we're offering, and if it's a fit for her, she's going to apply. And now we've already got most of the negotiations done, so that's the nice thing about kind of automating this on the front end and just laying it out for everyone. So if she is busy or it's a little low, she can kind of pass for now or say stay in touch. More likely than not, it's going to be an appealing offer, and then we'll get an introduction. We'll get going with that. Number 5 thing that we need to know, the type of content. So do we want basically a post, or do we want a reel? My preference today is to do a reel if you can, and the advantage there is that if you go to Instagram, the reels are getting very, very high engagement rates. So the number of clicks, the number of likes, and all that good stuff, those are all getting nice high engagement rates from Instagram. The reason is that Mark Zuckerberg is obsessed with catching up with TikTok, and he is just putting reels out there. So anything that's got a video is going to be sort of front and center in terms of priority. So if we can do a reel, we do it. Posts, again, perfectly fine also if we want to do something like that. Number 6 is going to be the call to action. So this is going to be what the call to action on a given post is going to be. Now, Ariel, being the content creator, she is not necessarily doing a call to action, of course, on all of her content, because she's not selling every time. This is to her followers. But if we want her to include something in the description, this is where we would coordinate it with the influencer campaign and such. So we would say, hey, this is what we're looking to do. If we're trying to acquire more Instagram followers, we'd have her give us an Instagram shout out. What I typically do is give our Instagram partners, I give them a link, and then I also tell them to give us a shout out. So we get a few more followers on Instagram, and we can cross promote that way. And then of course also the link, what we're using for the call to action. Now, number 7 thing that we need to know when we're partnering with influencers to promote our brand here is going to be frequency. So how often do we want to do a post with somebody like Ariel? Well, my suggestion and my experience, let's start with 1, and let's agree to on a price, $100 a post. And we do the campaign, and it's that simple. If it works, say, hey, let's do this again in a couple months. If it doesn't, we pay, we say thank you, stay in touch, even though, between us, we probably won't do anything next time. But that's a great way, I think, to vet and try out a bunch of different potential partners to see how they do. And again, the trick with micro influencers, we can do it at a very low cost. We're talking about getting started for $100, $50, maybe even as low as $25 for some nano influencers. So you really can't beat that in terms of social media marketing today. So again, those are our 7 things we need to know to find the best influencers for your brand. Again, this is Brett Owens with Afluencer. I'm our founder here, and I also work as kind of a chief matchmaker between our brands and our influencers. So thanks for tuning on today, and hope to talk to you soon. And which influencer or creator has been an awesome partner for you? Here's a great chance to give them a shout out in the comment section below. Let us know who you love. Thank you.